if x square minus 5x plus 4 is a factor of this. Okay, so what exactly it means, that basically this particular given polynomial divides this particular polynomial completely, then what are the values of p and q respectively is what they are asking, right? Okay, so what it essentially means, that if you divide something like that, okay, if you divide it like that, okay, it should be divisible completely, isn't it? This is what it means. So what we will do over here is that we will randomly take a value, okay, right? We'll randomly take a value. Let's say for example I take a value over here 15 comma 16, right? Okay, if I take a value 15 comma 16 as the value of p and q respectively, right? So this particular value over here will become minus 15 x square plus 16 is what will become over here, right? Okay, so now we just have to solve for it. Now if we do x square over here, this is x raised to the power 4 minus, right, minus 5x cube minus plus 4x square is what we are having over here, right? Okay, minus plus minus. Okay, so what we get over here, 5x cube and then over here we have 5x cube, this one will go on to a toss, right? And then what we are left is minus 19 and minus 15, minus 4 and minus 15, minus 19 x square and plus 16 is what we are left over here, right? Okay, right? So question number 81 is what we are solving, right? I hope my screen is visible. So now obviously you will do it by 5x, right? So over here we'll get 5x cube minus 25x square plus 20x, right? So now what are the stuffs over here remaining? This is minus, this is plus, this is minus, right? Sign change, all of you are aware of that, right? So now over here this one goes on to a toss. So what we are left with over here is 6x square minus 20x plus 16, right? Okay, now over here one point all of you need to observe, okay, right? This is also, this polynomial 6x square minus 20x plus 16 has got has got the maximum power x square, right? Isn't it? Okay, and over here also maximum power x square. So obviously it should go in constant, isn't it? It should go in constant, isn't it? And also this particular polynomial that they have given over here, if it divides completely, which means it should divide this constant term, right? It needs to divide the constant term, right? Okay, so to divide the constant term, by what value will you be doing? Okay, the contention is with x square, the coefficient of x square, and the over here the constant term, right? The contention is with these two stuffs, isn't it? Okay, so the contention over here is with these two particular terms, but there is no contention with this x term, so we have to get rid of this. So how much will you be doing? Okay, we'll be doing it, we'll be taking it by plus 4, right, and not 6 square, right, and not by 6, right? So it is your 4x square minus 20x plus 16. We have taken the value 4 in such a way that this term, x term, should get cancelled, right? Okay, so now what we have to do over here, what is left over here, what we have left over here, question number 81, over here down below you are left with 2x square, right? Okay, and over here we are not left with anything, right? So what exactly it means is that over here, right, if that is the case, over here we are supposed to have, if this was the value, 4x square is what we are getting at this particular point, I will highlight that in black. Okay, at this particular point we are supposed to have 4x square, right? Isn't it? Okay, you're supposed to have 4x square over here, isn't it? Right? So which means, what it means to have 4x square over here, we were supposed to have 21x square over here, isn't it? Then only you will be having 25x square minus 21x square, 4x square, right? Okay, and what does it mean over here? At this particular point of view, you are supposed to have 17x square, right? we don't have no contention with this constant term 16 because eventually it is getting crossed to give you what? 0, right? So what it means is that the constant term is 16, which is a correct value, but for the x square coefficient you are supposed to have 17, folks, right? So A over here is the correct answer for this particular question. Okay, now it's your choice. If you want, if you would have wanted to take the value over here, right? If you would have wanted to put this value directly, like let's say x raised to the power 4 minus 17x square plus 16, as we have got the first option as an answer, and try to divide that with x square minus 5x plus 4, you would realize that this gets divided completely, leaving remainder as equal to 0. Okay, so I hope you guys understood why exactly we have been choosing the given number over there, right? Okay, now we'll move to question number 82 over here. If two quadratic equation px square plus px plus 4 is equal to 0 and x square plus qx plus q is equal to 0 have a common root, okay, they have a common root over here as 2, right? Then what is the value of p plus q, right? If they have given the value of the common root over here, so can we simply put px square plus px plus 4 is equal to 0? So instead of x we can put x is equal to 2 because x is a root, isn't it? Okay, so if we put x is equal to 2, this particular value becomes 4p plus 2p plus 4 is equal to 0, which means 6p is equal to minus p, and p is equal to minus of 2 by 3 is what we are getting, right? Okay, minus of 2 by 3 is what we are getting. Now we have another equation over here, x square plus qx plus q, x square plus qx plus q is equal to 0, and again over here, since root 2 over here, the value of root, which is 2, right? Okay, is one of the another solution. So over here you can also put x is equal to 2, right? Okay, so x square is equal to 4 plus 2q plus q is equal to 0 is what you are getting, right? Okay, 0 is what you are getting, right? So now if you add this over here, x square value is how much? 2 square plus 2q, so 4 plus 3q is equal to 0, so 3q is equal to minus 4, and q is equal to minus 4 by 3, right? So now you get the value of p is equal to minus 2 by 3, and you get the value of q is equal to minus 4 by 3, right? So if you add of these two value, you get p plus q, which is equal to minus 2 by 3 minus 4 by 3, which gives you minus 6 by 3, which gives you minus 2 value over here. Question number 82, answer will be second option, folks, right? Okay, now let's get into the next question. Question number 83 over here. What is the HCF of the polynomial, right? They have given couple of polynomials over here, x raised to the power 8 plus x raised to the power 4 plus 1 and x raised to the power 4 plus x square plus 1. Okay, so what is the HCF of these two polynomials is what they are asking over here, folks, right? Okay, there could be more than one method to solve this, right? So the method that I am going to teach you over here is called, right, it's not called anything but you know, like in this my method over here, right? Okay, what we can do, right, we can in this my method of mine, right? Okay, over here we turn variables into constants. Okay, what do? We turn each of the variables into constants, right? So now it's your choice if you want to put up any given value over here. Now if I put in x is equal to 1, the polynomial, this particular polynomial x square plus x raised to the power 4 plus 1 will become how much? 2, right? Sorry, 2, this will become 3, right? This is 1, this is 1, and this is 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, this is 3, right? Isn't it? So this value is 3, and also this particular value will also be 3 if we put x is equal to 1 over here, right? Okay, so basically they are asking what is the HCF of 3 comma 3, right? What is the HCF of 3 comma 3, right? The HCF of 3 comma 3 is 3 only, right? Option A says 1. Okay, option 2, if you put x is equal to 1, so 1 minus 1 plus 1, this again will give you 1. Okay, option C, if you put x raised to the power 4, which means 1 raised to the power 4 is 1 only, plus 1 square is 1 only, which means it is giving you 3. For option D over here, you get 1 minus 1, right, something like this, which is giving you minus 1. So obviously D is also not the answer, C is the answer over here, right? Okay, the HCF of 3 comma 3 is 3 only, right? Okay, so this is the short method over here, right? You always have the choice to do the factorization and all that, okay, but in this case, if you get into the factorization, it will really break your head, okay. So the best method over here is to put in the values, right? Okay, so now we'll move to the question number 84, right? An arc AB of a circle, right? Okay, an arc AB of a circle subtends an angle x radian at the center O if the area of sector AOB is equal to the half of the square of the length of arc, right, AB, then what is the value of x equal to? Okay, so now this particular value, let's just understand an arc AB of a circle, right? So this is the arc over here, right? This is the arc over here, right? Now this is your A, this is your B, right? This is center O. So over here at the arc x radian, you have to understand the value that they have given over here is x radian, okay. So this arc over here subtends the value x radian over here, right? You know, everyone know pi radian is equal to 180 degree, right? Okay, so which means 1 radian is equal to 180 by pi degree, right? We have to convert the radian into degrees, right? And x radian will be equal to how much? 180 x by pi degree, okay. So basically x radian can be simply mentioned as 180 by 180 x into 180 x divided by pi degree is what we have, okay. So now we'll keep this observation side, okay, sideways, okay. If we keep this observation sideways over here, the length of arc AB is equal to how much? Theta value is how much? This much, okay. 180 x by pi, theta by 360 into 2 into pi into r, right? This is the value of your this is the value of this AB, right? This AB, right? AB is the over here arc. This is the value of AB over here, right? Isn't it? So this one gone, 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 okay. So which means arc value AB, arc value is how much? Okay, r into x, right? So now let's keep this observation separate, okay. If we keep this observation separate, and now they are saying if the area of the sector AOB, what is the area of the sector, right? Area of the sector AOB, right? It will be what? Theta by 360. What is the value of theta? The value of theta is this grotesque looking value is the value of theta. Theta by 360 into pi into r square. Is this the value we have? Okay. So this pi gone on to a toss, and this one and this value also gone on to a toss, okay. So area of AOB, area of this particular sector over here, we get how much? Area of this particular sector, we get x r square by 2, right? So we have two observations over here, right? Okay, now these things are calculations, we can delete it, okay. So we can simply write it like this, okay, right? So this is what your area, right? So area of sector over here is this particular value, right? Now they say if the area of the sector is equal to half of the square of the length of AB. Okay, let's read this one carefully. If the area means xr square by 2 is equal to half of the square of the, first listen, first is square of the length, okay. So square of the length means xr square, right? And then what? Half of that, okay. This is what they are saying, right? Okay, this is what it means, okay. If the area, this is the area, if the area of the sector AOB is equal to half of the, this is half by 2 of the square of the length of arc AB. Length of arc over here is x into r, so xr whole square divided by 2, right? Is that what you have? So now these two will get onto a toss, will go onto a toss, right? So now you just have to calculate, okay. So we just have to do some simple calculation over here. What do we get if you do some simple calculation? X r square is equal to x square and r square. R square gone. This x and this one x gone. So what is the value of x over here? X is equal to 1. Okay, then what is the value of x over here? X is equal to 1. Okay. one of the major mistake that aspirants will do over here, they will assume this x radian as you know, this x radian in terms of angle. Okay, they will assume this particular value as theta. Okay, but unfortunately this value they have given over here in terms of the radian. Okay, so 180 pi, so pi radian is equal to 180 degree, right? So you have to convert that first, right? So that's the given caveat over here, folks. Okay, all right. So we'll move to question number 85 over here in that case, right? So consider the following statement, okay, in respect of the prime numbers p and q. The LCM is always odd. Okay, the LCM is always odd. So we are trying our level best to prove all of this wrong. Okay, right? Isn't it? Okay, so we are over here trying to prove it wrong. Okay, right? Okay, so what does it mean over here, right? So we will assume, consider the following statement with respect to the prime numbers p and q. We have the prime numbers p and q, right? So can we assume some prime numbers over here? I'm assuming the prime number over here as 2. I'm intentionally assuming an even prime number, which is 2, right? Okay, these are the two prime numbers that we are assuming, right? Okay, right? Now what is the LCM of these two, right? LCM of these two number over here, LCM is equal to 22, which is an even, right? Their LCM is always an odd number, which is wrong. In this case we are getting LCM as an even number. Sum of their LCM and HCF is always even number, right? LCM is 11. What is HCF of 2 and 11? HCF over here is how much? 1. Okay, so what is the sum of LCM and HCF, right? LCM and HCF, this sum is how much? 23. The sum of their LCM and HCF is always even number, is what they are saying, but in this case we are getting odd number. Okay, they are saying always. Okay, so which one is correct? Neither 1 or not 2 over here is your correct answer, folks, right? Okay, neither 1 nor 2 is the correct answer over here, folks, right? Okay, so we'll move to the next one over here. Okay, consider the following for the next 5 items that follow. Okay, right? So this type of question over here is very prevalent. Okay, right? So consider the following in the next 5 items that follow is what they are asking, right? Okay, right? So question number 86, right? You have to worry about now question number 86 onwards. Question number 86, 87, 88, 89 and 100, 89 and 90, right? So they are saying what? The frequency distribution of 205, right? 205 observation is given below, right? Okay, so can we just redraw this, right? If we redraw this, we have something like this. Okay, right? We can redraw this. This is your x, this is your frequency, right? This is 3, this is 5, this is 6 and this is 7, right? Obviously if the frequency distribution of 205 observation over here, which means what? This plus this plus this plus this should be equal to 205, right? So which means f 2 3 4, right? 4f plus, okay, 4f plus 6 plus 8, 5 is equal to 205, right? Isn't it? So what does it mean? 4f is equal to 200, which means f is equal to 50, right? So now if f is equal to 50, can we find out what is the frequency over here, right? Over here f is 50, right? F plus 2 is how much? 52, right? This is how much? 47. This is how much? 56, right? So these are the frequencies over here. Now they have asked the first question over here, 86. What is the value of f? The value of f is equal to 50 is what we have found out. Okay, now what is the median of the frequency is what they are asking, right? Okay, median is what? Okay, median is what, right? Median means the middle value. Median means the middle value, isn't it? Okay, median means middle value, right? Is that what is the meaning of that? Okay, so now if you have this odd number of terms, 206 terms, so n plus 1 by 2th term, right? Okay, so which means how much? Which means how much? 1/3 term. Okay, right? So this is the 1/3 term over here will be the median. Okay, if you draw the cumulative frequency over here, if we write down the cumulative frequency CF, right, if you draw the cumulative frequency, this is 50, this will be 102, right, and this will be 149. Okay, and this will be how much? 205. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Up till 102nd term, this is the fifth, right? So 103rd term will be which one? In this one, 6, right, isn't it? Okay, so the 103rd term is 6 over here. So 6 is going to be the median. Okay, now you remember this, we had grotesque looking formula like n by 2 plus CF and 2 times of F1 F2 and all that. Okay, that is for grouped data. Okay, that is for grouped data. Okay, when they say from 0 to 10 5 observations are there, from 20 to 20, right, 15 observations are there, from 20 to 30, right, let's say 14 observations are there. For that kind of questions we will apply the formula. Okay, the data that they have given over here, these are your discrete data. Okay, discrete means exactly, right, right, isn't it? Okay, you exactly know that number 3. Okay, 3 is occurring how many? 50 times. Okay, 5 is occurring how many? 52 times, right, isn't it? Okay, so you know exactly all of these data, so you don't need to don't need to apply all of those formula. Okay, so what is the mode of the frequency? Mode, what do you mean by the mode? Mode means the highest occurrences. Okay, mode means the highest occurrences. Which one is occurring for the highest number of time? 56. 3 is occurring 50 times only, 5 is occurring 52 times only, 6 is occurring 41 times only, but 7 is occurring 56 times. So obviously 7 over here will be the mode, right? Okay, yes, CDS mathematics, sometimes they ask these easy questions as well. Okay, but you guys need to identify those questions. Okay, we are not able to identify such a question, that's why you fail. Okay, so that's the whole point, right? Okay, so now over here you have this observation, right? Okay, now they are asking what is the most appropriate graphical representation of the given frequency distribution. Okay, obviously you won't do no pie chart. Okay, right, obviously you won't do no pie chart over here, right, isn't it? Okay, and bar diagram, right, you see that all of these numbers, the frequencies are 50, 52, 47 and 56. Okay, so bar diagram over here, how will this bar diagram look? Okay, bar diagram will look something like this. Okay, very close. Okay, very close it will look. Okay, right, it will look extremely close over here, right? Okay, so bar diagram and histogram also doesn't give you any solution over here in that case. Okay, so you have only one type of observation left over here, which is your frequency polygon. Okay, right, frequency polygon. Okay, right, so C will be the answer to this particular question, right? Okay, now they are asking what is the mean of the frequency distribution. Now you know over here, right, you know this particular value, right, 3, all of this I'm writing it again over here, right? Okay, so this is how it is. 3, okay, what was the numbers? 3, 5, 6, 7, right? 3, 5, 6, 7 is what we had. 50, 50, 52, 47 and 56. 50, 42, 50, sorry, 52, 50, 52. Okay, 52, last 56. Okay, and then we had 47. Okay, 47 is what we had. So now we are supposed to find out the mean. So to find out mean, what do we do? 3 into 50 plus 5 into 52 plus 6 into 47 plus 7 into 56 divided by the total number of observations that we have over here, right? Okay, how many total number of observations do we have? Okay, we have a total number of 205 observations, right folks? Okay, right, so total number of observation over here is 205. Now let's just solve for this. Okay, this particular value is obviously 150, plus this particular value is how much, 260, right, plus this particular value is how much, okay, 47 into 6, 240 plus 42, 282, right, okay, 282 plus this particular value is 7 into 56, right, 7 into 56 is how much, okay, uh, 7 into 56 is 350 plus 42, right, 392 divided by 205 is what we are having, right, isn't it? So this is the value that we have over here, right? Now if you calculate this, how much do we get? 224, right, and 9 8 17, 9 8 17, 23 28, right, then 2, right, 5 7 10, okay, 205, right, isn't it? So now from here we don't have to go and calculate this value over here, right, okay. From here what we will do is something called approximation, right, okay. We got this value over here, okay, we got this value over here, so we do what we call as approximation, right, okay. So 205 into 5 is how much? 2510, okay. Now since this particular value is more than 1025, then obviously the value has to be more than 5, okay. But if you do like this, okay, so now this particular value is less than this, so automatically the value has to lie between 5 and 6, and hence your C will be the answer, okay, right. The value between 5 and 6 is only one of this value over here, 5.29. That's why only 5.29 will be the answer to this question over here, folks, right, okay. All right, so we will move in that case with the next question over here, right, okay. So now they are asking, consider the following next two items that follow, okay. The next two items that follow over here, the frequency distribution of marks obtained by students in an English examination is given below, okay, right. So the frequency distribution of marks obtained by students in an examination is given below, right, okay. So can I redraw this again? Can I redraw this again? Right, this table I'm redrawing it again, right. So what am I doing is that I'm redrawing this table all over again, right, okay. So in that case, below, right, below 40, okay. So below 40 means, right, that means less than 40, all of this will come into the picture, isn't it? Less than 40, all of this come into the picture, right, isn't it? Okay, so below 40 you have 50, right. Now I'm saying 40 to 50, right. So for 40 to 50, how many of these will come? Okay, in 40 to 50, right, below 50 means these numbers are also over here, right, isn't it? These numbers are also over here. So for 40 to 50 we will have to reduce this number, 125 minus 50, which is 75, right. Now over here I'm saying 50 to 60, right, and 60 to 70 and 70 to 80, right. Similarly in this below 60, all of this 210 will contain this and this number also, right. So from here 210 we will have to minus 125, 210 minus 125 is how much? 85, right. Similarly 315 minus 210 is how much? 105, right, and 310 minus 315 is how much? 45, right. So is that what we have over here? So what is the number of students who have scored between 60 to 70? Okay, 60 to 70, how many students have scored? 105 students have scored over here, right. So 91, A will be the correct answer over here, right. Now they are asking over here, what is the number of students who scored more than 50 marks? Okay, so what is the number of students who scored more than 50 marks, right? Okay, so below 50, right, isn't it? Okay, below 50 over here, right, have got by 125 students, and over here, right, total students are how much? 325, right? Okay, right, okay, so 350, right. So total student over here are 350, and below 50 you have got, right, below 50 you have got 125 student, right? Okay, so that we have to minus, okay, below 50, so you get 225 over here. D as the answer to this particular question, folks, right? Okay, so this is how we are going to solve this. Even if you would not, if you would have if you would not have drawn this table over here, still you would have been able to solve this question very easily over here, right? Okay, right, at least this question number 92 easy, right? Okay, so now we'll move to this one, okay, question number 93 onwards, right? Okay, so we'll move to question number 93 onwards. Now they are saying consider the next three items that follow. Okay, we have to consider the next three items that follow. Circulation figures in thousand of the newspapers A, B, C, D, E for the 5 years are given below, right? Okay, for 5 years, right, this is how have been the circulation. That's how it has been looking like for A, for B, right, for B, right, this was how it was look like in those particular year given over here, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, right? Okay, so we have a few questions which are data intensive, right? So let's read the first question over here, question number 93. In which of the given years was the circulation of newspaper D, okay, circulation of newspaper D close to its average circulation overall circulation over all the years? Okay, let's read this question all over again. In which of the given years, right, was the circulation of newspaper D close to its average circulation of all the years? Okay, right? Okay, so let's read this. Okay, in which of the given years was the circulation of newspaper D? Okay, so we'll have to concentrate on D over here, right? They are talking about D. Okay, close to its average circulation over all the years. Okay, so now the option they have given in terms of years, right? So we have to find out the year wise average, right? Okay, so for year 2019, okay, what was the average circulation of the newspaper, right? For year 2019, the average circulation was how much? 1 2 3 4 5 years over here you have 20 plus 10 30, 30 plus 20 is how much? 50, right? Okay, 50 plus 50, 65 73, 73 by 5 is how much? 14.6, right? So on an average in 2019, okay, so 2019 14.6 is what you had, okay, right? Okay, on an average, right? So yeah, okay, so 2020 how much is that? Okay, 12 into 12 and this is like 12 is like 4 times, so 48 into, and one more time over here 12, 48 plus 12 is 60, 60 plus 6 is how much? 66, 66 by 5 is 13.2, right? Okay, so 14. So now let's calculate the average over here for 2021, right? So how much is that, right? So let's 14 into 5 70, right? 70 plus 10 80, 83, right? And 84 by 5, 84 by 5, okay, which is 16.8, right? And now this particular value over here is how much? 9 plus 16 25 plus 15 is 40 plus 10 is 50, 76 average is how much? 76 by 5 is 15.2, right? And then over here what is the average? 16 plus 14. A few questions are data intensive, right? I mean the data are really not that huge that it's so difficult for you to calculate the values. So 16 plus 14 is how much? 30, 30 plus 22 is 50, 52, 52, 58, 68, 67, 77, 77 by 5. Okay, so 77 by 5 is how much? Okay, right. Okay, 77 by 5. Let's calculate this one again. Right, 15.2, and over here this is your 30, 30, and 52, 58, 68, 67, 67, 77. Okay, right. So this is how much? So 15 point, okay, 4 is what we have, right? Okay, 77 by 5, right? Right, 15.4 is what we have over here, right? Okay, so this was the average circulation of the newspapers, right? Average circulation of the newspapers in those given years. Okay, all the newspapers, right? Okay, so in which of the particular given year the circulation of D was close to the average circulation over the years. Okay, so for D, what was the average? Okay, right, for D, for in 2009 D circulation was 8, but average circulation was 14.6. D was 12, average was 13.2. It was below average, right? Only in one case in 2022 the D circulation was 15, but the average was 15.2. We can say that these two numbers were closer. Okay, so over here for question number 93 we'll go ahead with C as an answer, right? Okay, we'll go ahead with C as an answer. Okay, now the next question over here says, in which of the years from 2019 to 2022 was the circulation of newspaper D close to average circulation of all the newspaper in that year? Okay, so basically they are asking what is the average of the entire stuff. Okay, so what do you have to do? You have to find out the average of this. Okay, if you don't want to do much of a calculation, if you really don't want to do much of a calculation, how do you find out the average of this, right? Okay, closer numbers. Now we are doing question number 94. Okay, you have to first get rid of the outliers. Okay, so this is the outlier on the upper hand side, this is the outlier on the lower hand side. Okay, then this is another outlier, then this is another outlier. What you are left over here is with 15.2, right? So you can say that the overall average for all of this, for all the newspaper, okay, over here is like close to 15.2, right? Okay, so anything for D, if it comes like 15.2, then that is the answer. Okay, so in which of the year from 2019 to 2022 was the circulation of newspaper D close to the average circulation of all the newspaper, okay, in that year, right? Okay, so it is 15.2, right? So which value for D is closest to 15.2? You have only this particular value over here, right? Okay, right. So for question number 94 we will go ahead with D as an answer, right? Okay, now we have one last question over here. Okay, how many cases are there in which average of the circulation of an individual newspaper? Okay, average of the circulation of individual newspaper. What do you mean by the average of the circulation of the individual newspaper? So you have to basically find out the average of the individual newspapers also now. Okay, so we have to find out the average of A. What is the average of A over here, right? Okay, 22, okay, this is 50, right? 50, 72, 72, 92, 92, 94, 104 divided by 5. Okay, 104 divided by 5 is how much? 20.8. Okay, so across all these years 2019 to 2023, the average for the newspaper A was 20.8, right? So now over here is 14 plus 16 is how much? 30, 40, 50, 52, right? 52 by 5 is how much, right? This is how much? 30, 40, 50, 62. 62 by 5. 62 by 5 is how much, right? 12.4. So average of B is how much? 12.4. And similarly you have to calculate over here. This is 30, right? This is 30 and this is your 35, which means 65, 65, 70, 80, right? So average over here is how much? 16. This is how much? 30, 30, 40, 45, 45 plus 20, 65, right? So average over here is 13. Okay, so you have to do these calculations fast, right? Okay, over here this 2 is 20, 20, 40, 40 and 50, 60, 67, 67 by 5. Okay, 67 by 5 over here is how much? 13.4 over here. So the average of E is how much? 13.4 is what you have. Okay, right? So now let's go to the question now. Question number 86 in that case. How many cases are there in which average of the circulation of an individual newspaper was more than the average circulation of all the newspaper? Okay, so average circulation of all the newspaper was how much? 15.2 is what we have found out. Okay, so how many times the numbers are more than 15.2? For A it was 15.2, more than 15.2, and also for C it was more than 15.2, which was 16, right? So how many cases there have been in which the average of the circulation of individual newspaper like A, B, C, D, E, okay, was more than the average of the circulation of all the newspapers? So over here only 2 cases were there, folks, right? Okay, so with this we come to an end of question number 95, folks. Okay, so please go through this question all over again. Data intensive, obviously yes, okay, but it does not mean that these questions are not solvable. Okay, right? So now we'll move over here, right? So question number, okay, consider the following for the next 3 items that follow. Okay, next 3 items that follow over here, right? Okay, study the pie chart. Okay, number of houses, case 1 they have given number of houses 1,23,000, pakka house, kacha house, semi pakka house, right? And chart 2 gives you what? Okay, chart number 2 gives you the total number of population, right? 21 lakhs, right? And where exactly they are living, right? They are living in pakka houses, living in kacha houses, they are homeless, or they are living in semi pakka or kacha houses over here, right? And then the third one over here says the number of families, right? Total number of families is what they are given, living in pakka houses, living in kacha houses, families living homeless, living in semi pakka houses and all that. Okay, so now they are asking on an average how many people live there in every pakka house. Okay, so how many persons on an average are living in pakka houses is what they are asking. Okay, right? So first of all we have to understand how many pakka houses are there. Okay, how many, what question they are asking over here? They are asking how many persons live in the each of the pakka houses. Okay, right? Okay, so first of all we have to find out the number of pakka houses, right? Pakka houses, number of pakka houses will be how much? Okay, number of pakka houses over here will be how much? 1,20,000, and their corresponding angle is 110 degree, right? Okay, so the number of pakka houses will be 1,20,000 into 110 divided by 360. This is what we can say, this is the number of pakka houses, right? Isn't it? Now we have to find out what is the, how many persons living in every pakka houses. Okay, so how many people living in the pakka houses? Okay, people living in the pakka houses are how much? 60%. 60% of which particular value? This particular value of the total population, right? Okay, so people living in the pakka houses will be how much? Okay, population living in pakka houses, right? So PPH will be how much? 21 lakh into 60 by 360. Is that what we have? Is that what we have? And now they are asking how many persons live, how many persons are there? Okay, right? Now they are asking how many persons live in each pakka houses. Okay, so each pakka houses means what? We have to do what? For to find out how many persons are living in each of the pakka houses, we will have to do this value divided by this value. So let's just do it. okay, 21,00123 into 60 divided by 360. Okay, so we have this particular value, right? Okay, hashtag pph divided by hashtag ph. Okay, people, population in pakka houses and the number of pakka houses into 1,20,123, right? Certain questions in the end, and specifically the statistics and the data interpretation questions are, calculation intensive. You can't really do away with that. Okay, so this one gone, this one gone. Okay, now over here you have 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 gone. Okay, 1 2 3 4 gone. Okay, this one gone, this one gone. So what you are left over here is with, let me clear off a little bit of the buris over here. So now what you are left over here is with, okay, so this is how much, okay, 210 into, now can we say that this value goes over here 2 times, right? So 210 divided by 22 is what you have. Okay, we are solving question number 96 over here, isn't it? Okay, so obviously this will not give you 10, isn't it? Okay, 22 into 9 is how much? 18, 198. Since this value is more than 198, so obviously the value has to be in between 9 and 10. So over here you can skip the little bit of calculation by writing 9.54. Okay, right? So this is what you have over here. Okay, right? Now next question, we go to the next question over here. So a few questions over here are calculation intensive. You can't really do away with that. Okay, right? If 5,000 more kacha houses are built, if 5,000, now for question number 97, if 5,000 more kacha houses are built, then what will be approximate change in the angle for the kacha houses? Okay, in pie chart 1. Okay, right? So first of all you have to understand 1,20,000 houses are there. Okay, so how many kacha houses are there, right? So 1,20,000, okay, 1,20,000 into, right, kacha houses. How many kacha houses are there? Okay, 40, right, into 40 by 360, right, into 40 by 360 is what you will be having, right? So this one gone, this one gone, right, this one gone, okay, this one gone basically 9 times. Okay, right? So this one will go 3 times, this one will go 40,000 times. Okay, so as per this particular value 40%, the number of kacha houses over here is how much? 40,000 divided by 3. Is that what you have? Okay, now they are saying, okay, 5,000 more kacha houses are there. Okay, so you will add over here 5,000, isn't it? Or can I say 15,000 by 3? Is that what you are adding? Isn't it? Okay, if you write 5,000 or 15,000 by 3, both means the same. So basically now total number of kacha houses, okay, total kacha houses will be how much? Okay, 55,000 by 3. So now the total number of kacha houses will be how much? This particular value 55,000 by 3, right? Okay, isn't it? So now they are asking, now 55,000 by 3 will make how much angle over here, right? Okay, so 55,000 by 3, right, divided by the total number of houses. Now the total number of houses will add 5,000 over here, right? So 1,25,000 will be equal to, we don't know how much value it will make, so it will make, we are saying over here, it will make x degrees, right? Okay. So if it makes x degrees out of 360, right? Okay, right? Okay. So now let's just solve for this. If we solve for this, these three gone over here, right? This will go 11 times, this one will go 25 times, okay? This one will go this one will go how many? 120 times, this one will go 5 times, this one will go 24 times, right? So the value of x will be how much? 11 into 24, right? 11 into 24 by 5. Okay, 11 into 24 by 5 is how much? 240 plus 24. That means 264. 264 by 5. So if you solve for this, you get 52.8 degree. Okay. Okay. So now they are asking, if 5,000 more kacha houses are built, then what will be the approximate change in the angle of kacha houses? Okay. So earlier your angle was 40 degree. Now your angle is 42.8, 52.8 degree. So how much is the change? 12.8 degree change are there, or otherwise you can say on a close to 13 degree of change is there, right? Okay, right? Right, so you have B 13 degree as an answer to this particular question. Okay, right? Now let's move on to this one. If 300 families from houseless category shift into kacha houses, okay, right? If 300 families, so we'll focus over here on chart 3, right? Okay, chart 3 is what is our focus over here, right? Okay, so if 300 families from houseless category shift to kacha houses, then what will be the average family in the, what will be the number of average family in every kacha houses, right? So first of all, let's find out, okay, shift to kacha houses, okay. So this homeless people over here, right, 300 homeless people are shifting into this kacha houses, right? So what is the families living in the kacha houses? Number of families living in the kacha houses is this much, 3,60,000 into 185 degree by 360, right? Okay, so basically it will go how many? 1,000 times, so which is 1,85,000, right? 1,85,000 people are living over here in the families are living in the kacha houses. Okay, now they are saying 300 homeless people are also shifting to kacha houses. Okay, so if we add that, we get 185,300. Okay, so now this is the number of families. Okay, this is now the number of families living in, okay, families FL living in kacha houses, FLKH, okay, is equal to 185,300. Okay, 185,300 is what we have. Okay, and we also have to find out one more thing. Okay, they have asked, what have they asked? What is the average number of families living in kacha houses? Okay, right? So how many kacha houses are there? Kacha houses are there 1,20,000 into 40 by 360, right? Okay, right? So these many number of kacha houses are there. Okay, so now they are asking what are they exactly they are asking over here? Okay, what will be the average number of families? Okay, average number of families living in every kacha houses. Okay, every kacha houses they are asking. So what exactly does it mean? We have to do this particular value divided by this particular value, isn't it? Because this is the families living in kacha houses and this is the number of kacha houses. Okay, so let's calculate that. In that case, we will calculate that. Okay, right, 1,85,300. Okay, right. So if we calculate that, we have over here, right, 1,85,300 divided by this particular value. Okay, this particular value is how much? 1,20,123 into 40, and then this 360 degree will go above. Okay, so you have 1 2 3. Okay, 1 2 3 over here, right? Okay, this one gone 9 times, this one gone 10 times. Okay, right? So how much do we have over here? We have something like, we are calculating this particular value. Okay, we have something like 1853 into 9 divided by 1200 is what we have. Okay, right? So now let's calculate this number. If you calculate this number, right? Okay, this is how much? 3 times, this is 400 times also you can say, right? So now this particular value over here is how much? 955 by 400, right? Okay, so this is what you have over here. So now let's calculate that. Okay, so now if you calculate this, if you do 400 into 13, right? So 5200. Okay, since this value is more than 5200, then the number will obviously will more than 13 point something, right? Okay, and if you do 400 into 14, it is 5600. Since this value is less than 5600, then the value has to lie between 13 and 14. So which means over here B will be the correct answer, folks. Okay, right? B will be the correct answer for this particular question, folks. Right? Okay, right? So now let's move to question number 99. Okay, marks obtained by 60 questions in a test, okay, wherein the maximum marks are 100. Okay, right? These are our easy questions. Okay, what percentage approximate they are asking of the students getting marks higher than or equal to, okay, right, higher than or equal to 60 but less than 80. Okay, so higher than or equal to 60 but less than 80. Okay, so 1 2, right, but less than 80, so 80 will not be counted. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, then nothing from here. 9 10 11 12 13, right, 14, you have 15 and 16. Okay, did you miss any other number over here? Right, so they have given the marks obtained by 60 students in a test, right? Maximum marks are 100 are given below, right? So these are the marks over here given below. So what is the percentage, approximate percentage of the students getting marks higher than or equal to 60, right? Higher than or equal to 60, all the cases, but less than 80. Have we missed any case? Right, I don't think we have missed any case over here, right? So 16 out of 60 students have got, right, are satisfying this particular condition. Then they are asking what is the percentage over here. This is 3, this is 8. 80 by 3 or otherwise 2 times, right? 26 times 6, right? Okay, so this is approximately 99. B, right, it will be 26.66% over here, folks, right? Okay, so we'll move to the last question over here. Okay, so we'll move to the last question in that case, right? Last and final question for this one. Okay, right? Okay, yeah, so the last question over here, the arithmetic mean of 100 observations was 50. Okay, right, so the average of 50 or average of 100 observations are 50, right? Later on it was found that 2 observations were misread as 82 and 6 instead of 182 and 56. Okay, 2 observation, one of the observation was read as 82 instead of okay, instead of 182, right? So which means that 100 was missed from there, right? And another observation, right, it was read as 6 instead of 56, right? Okay, so in that case you misread at 50, right? So from here 100 was missing and from here 50 was missing, so basically 150 was missing, right? So that will get added over here, right, divided by 100, because that has to be added in terms of the average or arithmetic mean, right? So 50 plus 1.5, it will be how much? 51.5, okay, right? So B over here is the correct answer, folks. Okay, you can always do by the long method also, right? Observation of 100 observation was 100 into 50, okay, right? Okay, 100 observation, the value will be 50, okay, and over here you can also add over here, right? Okay, plus 150, right, divided by total number of observations, which is 100, okay, so which is your 5150, right? 5150 divided by 100. Even if you do that, you get 51.2 as in 51.5 as an answer to this.